I'm Darren, and today we will be benchmarking the 7900 XTX in Black Myth Wukong. So, let's start with the settings. We are at 4K. We have frame rate cap, VSync and motion blur turned off. And we will start out at 100%. We are using FSR, which I assume is FSR AA. Frame generation is off. Ray tracing is off, and we will kick it off with the cinematic. So let's go with that. Oh god, not that way. This way. We'll see how it goes. I did watch Terra's benchmarks before, and pretty much going by what he said, cinematic is kind of a waste of time, I think. I don't think there's a huge difference between cinematic and very high, so this is probably the only one I will run at cinematic, and then I will knock it down to very high as we go on, I'm gonna think. So I'll run this one at cinematic, I will run the next one at very high, and then we will try some upscalers running the very high preset, see if we can get to a frame generation, and then we will try some RT and see where that goes. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty demanding. I kind of guessed it would be. I have seen a few benchmarks today. I briefly ran the 4080 and got a kind of idea of how rough it was going to be. So, yeah. There we go. But it looks awesome. Like, probably graphically, I'm going to say probably the best that I've seen. I don't pretend to have played every game out there, but as far as it goes, within this kind of area of foliage and textures, rock work, all of that sort of stuff, I mean, that looks awesome to me. So, very impressive. Probably ready for the next generation of GPUs. Maybe not the current ones, but it's definitely playable. People are going to find a way to play it, no problem. At 4K, maybe a bit of a problem, but so 32 average. Let's go to, like I said, I'll drop it down to very high. Looking at the side-by-side that Terra put up, there was not a lot of difference, or nothing really noticeable. So, let's go to very high. Run that. Oh, not that way. I'm not sure. I got a feeling in with his 4090, he had a bit of a better bump in performance. Because, believe it or not, I have literally just done this entire video to find out that my mic wasn't recording. So there's half an hour of my life I ain't ever getting back. Never mind. Just to warn you, it's going to take about half an hour to get through the various settings. I'll run through them as fast as I can. But yeah, I don't think, as far as it goes, I don't know. Admittedly, I was driving and listening to his video, I thought he had somewhere between like an 8 and 10 FPS. I might have got it completely wrong, because I have a feeling when I did this last run that I only had a 1 FPS difference. But who knows? Definitely what we don't have now is a playable experience, unfortunately. We will see what happens at we will try quality. We'll stay at the very high, and we will try some upscaling next. So we will go with quality, and we will go with balanced. See how that does. See what we can then go with frame gen. Obviously FSR frame gen in this, which will give us a nice boost, normally double. But yeah, game looks awesome. Well, the benchmark looks awesome. It's probably a lie. Game will end up looking like, oh, I don't know, nothing like this. From what I've seen, it will look pretty awesome. What it will play like, it's a shame there isn't a bit of something playable, because I'd love to check it out. So 35, I can't remember what it was now. I can't remember what it was before. I don't think we've had a huge difference. 33 was it? We get 2? Or was it 32? I don't know. I don't think we've got 5 FPS, put it that way. So let's go with some super resolution. So we will go to 67. Is that right? That's quality upscale, isn't it? I'm sure it is. Let me check quickly on my phone. I've done this enough, I should know. But I've just had a complete and utter brain blank. Yeah. 67. We'll go with that. So we are still at very high. Let's go. Eight minutes in. If this mic didn't record, I'm done. And to be fair, it's not as if I'm the only person. By the time I actually upload this, it's probably 100 videos already. But never mind. I tried. So now the water looks really weird, which is unfortunately FSR's Achilles heel, that it can't do water. It just goes straight weird, which is the first thing that I noticed when I checked out the Horizon Forbidden West. I noticed straight away in that the water didn't look right anymore. It's kind of turned into an oil painting. But it is what it is. What we do have is better frames. Pretty decent improvement. I'm shit at maths, so percentage, I don't know. But it's better than what it was, I can tell you that much. And other than the water, from what I can see, everything else looks pretty good. I don't really see any shimmering. So, that's good. No. That kind of all looks okay. at the end we'll get some decent performance. There's some ghosting in the leaves a bit though. In fact, there's a lot of ghosting in the leaves, but that, I don't know if that's down to FSR or if it's just down to the low frame rate. Far better. So where are we? 55. Well, depending on how the game plays, that might be doable. Plus, there will be. I am doing an internal capture. I'm using the Radeon. It will be taking some performance. I'm probably gonna say that will. I don't know. I might be able to calculate it at the end, and if I can, I'll add it in. But it'll probably be at least 2 or 3 FPS. It might be slightly more. So that could be kind of frame gen territory, depending on how the game plays and how it feels. If not, we will run the next, which will be balanced, I'm going to say. Got a mind of its own? No, happy with that? Okay, go balanced. Be happy. It would be actually be good if it had presets, but I think we're there or thereabouts. So let's run that. Still looks like it's holding up alright. Picture wise, the water's like done. That was already done before. Now it's totally like, yeah, I don't even know what's going on there. The rest of it kind of doesn't look that bad. Probably the best that I've seen FSR balanced. Not noticing any major shimmering. Nothing much in those trees. Nothing that stands out, that's for sure. Probably just the water's taken a little bit more of a hit, and there's some ghosting on that character that we just went past. I'm guessing the leaves have probably taken a bit more of a hit at the end of the run. We'll check that out. So how this would actually work in gameplay. It is quite a fast moving game. I'm going to guess the ghosting would be possibly pretty bad if it's kind of visible when it's moving this slow, but we will see. Maybe a tiny bit of fizzle on that tree, nothing of anything really. Not something that would bother me. So this might just be down to actual gameplay and ghosting maybe. Obviously there was a bit of quality, so there is obviously quite a bit of ghosting with those leaves now. You'd have to play the game to figure it out. What we will do is we'll crank on frame gen, so we've got a higher frame rate, and see if that helps it or makes it worse. So where are we at? 63. So that's fine. So I'm going to say we can crank on frame gen. Where are we at? Here. So frame gen on. So we are at FSR balanced. Frame generation is on. We are on the very high preset, and we are at 4K, no RT. don't expect this to look much different. So I'm guessing it would just be if I notice any ghosting on the. You can kind of notice it on the guy. I don't know if the water's even. Maybe the water's even worse. I don't know. It was that bad. It might have got a bit worse. It might not be that much different. I'd have to probably do it side by side, but it doesn't look great. It hasn't really gone. Sometimes frame gen can look a little bit smudgy, so a bit softer. It doesn't look that bad to me. I didn't notice any ghosting on him. I'm not sure if I did it the first time. I noticed it on the guy sat down. As it panned past, you could kind of see from his staff it was kind of ghosting a bit. So, it might not be quite as bad now, frame rate. Double the frame rate. Could be down to a bit to do with my monitor at a low frame rate. Although I just did get some ghosting coming off that branch as it went past. Everything else looks alright. Like, that's not there's no major detriment here to image quality. I'd happily play with this image. So if the actual kind of what could be bad ghosting isn't in game, then it might be alright. Let's see what these leaves, if these leaves have got better, or now the leaves are still ghosting like here. So frame rate didn't change that. And the trees kind of ghosted a bit as it panned in then. But I mean, we've got a decent frame rate, so 4K, like I say, very much depends how it plays right now. Is where shit gets real. So let's check out. We're gonna have to reset the game, which is really, really annoying. Do we stay at this? Right, we're gonna have to turn frame gen off. We'll go to ray tracing on. We will go to low. So we'll stay at balanced. We'll stay at the very high preset, and we will just go to low. I'm not going to put frame gen on at the moment because I don't know if we're anywhere near being able to turn frame gen on. I'm going to guess probably not. So we're going to quick exit the game, which is a little bit annoying. Launch back in. Just double check that those settings have stayed the same. So 55. Was it 55? I didn't set it at 55, did I? But it's obviously decided that's what it wants to be at. So, whatever. What was balance supposed to be? 57, I think. 58. Whatever, it can stay there. Frame gen off, ray tracing on at low, and the very high preset. We are obviously still at 4K. Let's see what happens. Ooh, I don't know what's happened with the water now. Weird stuff. Yeah, it's turned into some sort of weird rendering. And the trees have turned purple. What the hell is that about? So, I don't know what it's done with the water. I think it's fair to say that we're not going to put frame gen on. Huge artifacting purple trees. That's a new one. I've not seen that happen before. Not seen that happen before. Obviously there's a lot of ghosting and stuff because the frame rate is so low. Hopefully once we get past this water we can speed up a little bit so this doesn't take forever. But I don't know what all this purple stuff's about. I've never seen that happen before. Like purple branches. Yeah. Interesting. It is what it is. It's not a ray tracing GPU. Well, it's not that it can't do ray tracing, but it's, you know, this is hardcore ray tracing, isn't it? Even at low, I assume it's clearly pretty demanding. I think, what were we on this preset? I think on this preset without frame generation we were 64 at the end. So we've taken a pretty big hit. We probably lost about half our performance. Maybe a bit more. Are we 64? So do we make 32? I don't think we do because we've only made that right at the end. 26. So yeah, we've taken a pretty big hit. And that's at low. So I don't want to go below balanced because balanced was already starting to look a little bit cagey. So we will drop to high. We will go to medium. We'll check that out just for science. I don't think it's gonna be great, but were we at balance? We were at balance, weren't we? Even though we were somewhere between performance and balance. I mean, we can. The last one we'll try performance because we're gonna have to. That's definitely destroyed the water. And now we have like major shimmery artifacty trees. They might have been like that the first time. I don't think I was taking that much notice. I think I was staring at the water wondering what the hell was going on. But I did notice that is something to do with the RT medium preset because I did quick run it on the 4080 and the medium preset does something really weird to the water, which isn't particularly nice. Not what this is doing at the moment, because this is a mixture of the RT plus FSR balanced, but the tree's still going purple. Yes, there's purple stuff everywhere. Not all in the same places, but there's some purple branches. And there's some more purple branches. But it is what it is. It's 4K. it's a demanding game, throwing on a mixture of RT that's, I don't know, obviously path tracing. I don't know if you need to be at very high for path tracing to be a thing, or if it's there is some level of path tracing within what's on at the moment in medium. I have no idea. Hopefully they separate the RT a bit more and make it a bit more customizable when the actual game releases, so that we can kind of choose what things that we want from RT rather than just a preset. So there we go. Where are we at? 26. Which I think is about what we were with very high and low. So we've kind of kept the same. So I wonder if we go... I don't want to go down to the medium preset because I know that doesn't look great. What I can do is go down to 50% render scale, which will be performance, which will be our last run. So let's go to 50%. Let's go to RT very high. And let's say sorry to the system because it's had a rough time in the last 10 minutes. Oh, that doesn't look good. That camera pan nearly made me wrong. So yeah, I don't even know what the water is now. It's a block of ice. It's just for science. I wasn't expecting anything to come from this, but whilst I'm doing it, I might as well do it. But damn, that's harsh. Poor AMD system. Looks like is the purple stuff gone? Yeah, it hasn't. Or is it just a case of it's not rendering in? But this is the last one. We don't need to see any more. Oh, the reflections look a bit better. But yeah, I don't think that frame generation or fluid motion frames is coming to save the day on this one. Although I've no doubt someone somewhere will say that they were running fluid motion frames and getting 100 FPS at 4K with everything maxed. It's gonna happen. It already has. I'm sure it already has. I'm sure I've read the comment. So there we go. What was that? That was the high preset at 4K at FSR performance with the RT at very high. There's no point going any further than that. That's it. Hopefully if this helped anyone out, awesome. Give me a like. I do appreciate it. And I will catch you in the next one.